Hello, you people. It is I, that one named CJ, back at it again with another GD video. So, I thought I'd go ahead and talk about my favorite demons in the game. Again. Okay, well, this time it's not limited to just extreme demons. I'm doing the difficulty as a whole, so I'll be able to talk about the other difficulties as well. There's a vast variety of easy demons out there in the game, and amongst all of them, only 12 of them I consider to be my favorite. And I'll try my best to give out a good reason as to why I really like these demons. It's not gonna be something like, oh my god, Change of Scene is my favorite easy demon in the game. It's so well constructed, and both themes are amazing. The songs are banging, the deck is fantastic, not to mention, under 70k objects? How could you not love it?
No.
It'll be more in line with how I did it in the other two videos, where the reasoning is semi-brief, and I try to elaborate further on this. Also, yeah, 12 demons. I know it's not something like 15 or 20 demons, or maybe even more than that, but mind you, I have to talk about 5 demon difficulties, 12 levels each. A grand total of 60 levels to talk about. Not only that, but I'm trying to do it with a voiceover this time, so spare me with the voice, alright? Do indeed note, this is all my opinion, and you do not need to agree with me, nor try to go after my own throne. At the end of the day, it's all opinions. It's like, obviously, I've said this like so many times, I think you should already know by now. And another thing, unlike what I did with the Extreme Demons, it'll mostly be about why I like this level in particular, and why it interests me a lot. I think it's easier for me to talk about it that way instead of taking the deco, the gameplay, and song representation into account. I do hope that with this method, it's a lot easier for me to elaborate as to why I consider these levels my favorite. Because, again, there's 12 easy demons in total in this one. And then there's also going to be 12 for medium demons, hard demons, insane demons, and extreme demons. So, I think it's better if I just talk about as to why I like the levels that I like. So, yeah. With all of that aside, let us now begin. This is my 12 favorite easy demons in the game. Do you note, despite the rankings of all 12 of these, I consider all of them to be my favorite. So yeah. Yep, a very recent level makes it here on this list. Okay, well, let me explain why Citadel is here. Originally before, I actually hated the level at first. There was some parts of the gameplay that just screamed jank, and the sideways ship climb at the watchtower, it was just not fun to play with, if I'd be honest with you. But then I gave it a second look, and then just discarded everything that I thought about it initially. Skill issue be damned. Citadel for me was a level I needed to play twice before in finalizing my initial thoughts on it. And my thoughts now compared to before? I think this level is cool. It's your typical subwoofer purple castle level that has a spectacular song made for the NCS and GD album. The gameplay is pretty fun the second time you play it, as the first time, yeah, it's not gonna be that fun. The decoration for me really sold it, though. I love the way the level looks, which is unironically a given, as aside from space-themed levels, castle-themed levels really suit my fancy. And also the art style. I really like Subwoofer's art style that he puts into his levels. It feels a lot GD-like, if that makes any sense. Overall though, Citadel is quite the level and one that I personally enjoy playing. But I would not recommend it to people unless you can do sideways gameplay, because the ship is easily the hardest part in that level. The last ship, anyway. And once again, the song is an absolute banger. Boom Kitty and Water Flame at their finest, people. Yeah, the first two levels here definitely feel like I added them because of recency bias, and while part of that is true, do note they are not even in my top 10. I will say, Icy Stars definitely edges it out over Citadel because this is actually an NCS level that I was actually interested in. You know, like after it's released, after the results came out, this is one that I actually wanted to play for myself. And as I said with castle-themed levels, space-themed levels really suit my fancy. Designs of it all are visually appealing, and the gameplay, like Citadel, is actually fun the first time around. Unless you're the person that has, like, no patience for XXL levels. I quite liked Icy Stars by itself, but I want to mention Icy Stars EX real quick because this is basically what the rest of Icy Stars would have looked like had Super Punch finished the level. A remake, if you will, although I think it's a bit too early to call it a remake. EX definitely feels like an extra ending to the level. I mean, well, it's in the name after all. And one in which I think the original was probably better off without the extra part because, oh my god, what the hell do you do here? Okay, well, admittedly, it's not that hard. It's actually pretty easy, especially with the jump indicators. But I think people would have had, like, a much more harder time trying to beat this level, especially considering the fact that it's an XXL level, if this part was kept into the original level. I think as an extra, it's definitely an additive bonus. But aside from that, Icy Stars, definitely a solid level. Icy Stars EX, definitely a nice bonus to the level. Okay, and with that, that should be all the recent levels in this list. From this point onwards, this is all gonna be like pre-2024, like everything before 2024, like 2023, 2020, so on and so forth. There's no more recency bias. That's all I'm gonna say. This tweet that I made about Starpunk, honestly, it still holds true to this day. Starpunk is quite the level with visually appealing effects, simple as all heck block design, and gameplay that's pretty fun, and also sight readable. It's also one of the more user-friendly XSX levels out there, and one that I would definitely recommend to people if they want to try out something that's honestly worth a damn going for in terms of length of GD levels. Seriously, it is that user-friendly. Hell, I think you could go for this as your first demon and not something like Club Step or The Nightmare. Okay, over-exaggerating, but case in point, I do like Starpunk. It is a clean as heck level, and definitely one that'll age in the next 5 or more years. But I do have preferences, and I prefer the 9 other levels that are above this one. Honestly, if you came to this video with the expectation of somebody having Dreamflower as one of their top 10 levels, congratulations, this is definitely a video that has that. Dreamflower is another one of those levels that has aged pretty well, and is fun to play. But unlike Starpunk, it has a higher bar due to the impact to the game and the community. Visually appealing designs, simplistic effects, and the overall theme to this level, placing you in a fantasy world out of reality. Well, at least that's what Castrix said, but honestly, I can't see it any other way than this. Dreamflower is one of the most well-aged modern levels in the game, and one that'll definitely hold up in the next 5 years or so. Though the fact that I place this here at 9 out of 12 definitely comes to show that both creators have a lot more potential to the game than they thought of initially. And it shows too, we got levels like White Space and Get Happier. And also, I placed it at 9 because of preference, like I said with Starpunk. Trust me, as much as I like Dreamflower in all of its glory, the other 8 levels I prefer more than this one. So no, a fantastic level and definitely one I would recommend playing if you want to see something that goes beyond the limits of it. Like a start or something like that. I honestly find it pretty funny that there was drama regarding the window. It's now becoming more silly rather than concerning, and I'm pretty sure everyone and their goddamn mother can make a window design that simple. And yet people would think that's traced. This is a fucked up society that we live in. I am absolutely prepared for when I get bullied for putting Sky Tower over Dreamflower. Or maybe it'll go the opposite way around and people may agree with me for this take. Ah, who am I kidding? My ass is getting kicked. Okay, but about Sky Tower. Really the reason as to why I prefer this over Dreamflower is the adventure building throughout the level. At one point, you're asked to get a Rainbow Emerald hidden in the Sky Tower. You start on a boat, through the underwater, and then BAM! On your way to the Sky Tower you go. It is quite simple in storytelling if I'm being honest with you, but in GD, hey, it works. Also the gameplay is quite fun. Chaotic considering literally everything is being thrown around you. But it's fun. Although I do understand the folks as to why they don't like the level as much. Again, it's quite chaotic with the everything that is being thrown around you, and the gameplay, it can be rough at the first practice run. Also, some parts can be stupid, but considering that this is a me opinion, I do think Sky Tower is great. Not top 5 material, but It's great. You know, while we're on the topic of adventure building, Espionage also has one itself, where you're on the chase of this one person who has stolen this artifact, and you, or in this case Hubert, have to venture to Paris to stop him, of all the places. Another simple story in which it's easy to follow. Now you might be thinking, why the hell is Sky Tower, a second addition to a trilogy, the level Espionage, another level which, by the way, is also a second addition to a trilogy? Well, for starters, it's not chaotic, it's mostly static and not a lot of things are in your face. Secondly, since the decor is so static, the gameplay is more easy to do and learn because of it, and it's also quite fun and simple. Thirdly, and I'm gonna be honest with you when I say this, I really prefer the narrative of Subway vs. Trilogy than Reefers. And listen, despite me saying that, I do think both of them are good in their own ways. Both of them have objectives for you to do, but how they do it is quite different. Which is why I really like both Sky Tower and Espionage. All for it to come down to preference. Jam Attack, Jam Attack, Jam Attack. A name that I only knew of thanks to me watching his video on ranking every Jonathan GD level. I never really knew about his profile as a creator, but after playing Glorious Fortress and watching The Solar Path, god damn, this guy knows how to do art levels incredibly well. You can definitely tell the amount of effort that he puts into his levels, especially when this level in particular took 500 plus hours to build. You know, aside from John, I gotta respect Jam's dedication to make his levels good. Anyway, Glorious Fortress, an incredibly well-made level paying tribute to the days of old. I mean, I already said that council theme levels really suit my fancy, but god damn does this level nail it out of the park, with a fitting song to cap it all off. I also really like the gameplay in this one as well. The duel, where you mostly have to buffer the clicks, is incredibly done well, and I personally think that if you were to make a buffer-only part, I do think this is how it should be done. The sync in this level is also pretty good too, so it gets plus points for that. And the transitions in this level, oh my god. All in all, this level is pretty damn good. But surprisingly enough, this is not my favorite council-themed level amongst the easy demons. Yeah, okay, scrap what I said about me putting Sky Tower above Dreamflower. This is where I get my ass kicked on Twitter. Arrow being in my top 5? Yeah, this is indeed quite the bizarre opinion, but I hope you can hear me out on this one. The reason as to why I personally think Arrow is above all the other ones is simply because I just really like how Arrow plays. The gameplay is your typical Jonathan GD sync-based level, but to a degree where it's not alienating and complicated to something like Biru, which was previously his easiest demon level, I'll have you know. Plus you also get no 99, only 98. If that isn't enough of a reason or a sign that John wants to move on from doing hard endings, I don't know what to tell you. Aside from that though, the visuals are appealing and the effects are nice, which is a given considering this is John we're talking about. Arrow is indeed solid, and one in which I would also recommend to people if they really like John's levels but do want something easier to play that is not Biru. And mind you, this is me saying all of this with the playtest device, but the playtest device does not really affect much on what I think about the level because, yeah, I playtested the level, but I already knew what I was going to think about the level even long before it was finished, so yeah. Well, this is definitely one where I'm going to get my ass kicked on from Twitter, so hopefully I can redeem it with the last 4 levels. Maybe not the next one, but maybe with the 3 after the next one. I think this one is another oddball on this list. I'm Dead by Dang is a level in which, by looking at it, it's one of those red levels that you see on an average Tuesday, but I don't know, the more I played it, the more I actually found enjoyment on this level. The theming and the atmosphere sets the tone in a realm in which all is lost. Every soul that has been living here has long passed due to reasons unknown, and the place you traverse through begs the question as to what sort of demon has entered this place. quite literally a made-up narrative in which I came up with myself because, well, what happened here? Okay, I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. Aside from the theming and the atmosphere, the gameplay is oddly very fun to play, and if I'm gonna be honest here, the best level here in terms of gameplay, in this list anyway. It's just so weirdly fun to do, and interesting to say the least. I think that perfectly sums up my overall thoughts of this level. I'm Dead is an interesting level that has quite the theme and atmosphere. It has gameplay that I oddly had fun playing for a lot of unknown reasons. I guess I just really encapsulate the level as a whole. A lot of the unknown. Okay, at this rate, I'm pretty sure you guys know who my favorite creator is at this point. If not, then I don't know what to tell you. This is what I consider to be the best castle-themed level amongst all the easy demons in the game. Trying to avoid going to a dungeon? Well, too bad. Your ass is going there anyway. I mean, I've already given my stances about the other two subwoofer levels that are in this list. His art style feels a lot GD-like, the narrative of the adventure building is simple, and the gameplay is a lot fun to play. Unless if you're the one that likes it when the gameplay goes fast, you are not finding this in this level. It mostly sticks to one-time speed, and admittedly, the speed of the level definitely sets the tone for the kind of place you are traversing through. It is indeed quite the smashing place if I say so myself. Okay, well, my overall thoughts on this level, Crush is without a doubt a really fantastic level. The atmosphere of the level is great, as it sets the tone with the kind of place that you are traversing through, complemented with one-time speed gameplay that is quite similar to the newcomers who wish to try it. And even though I consider this to be the best castle-themed level amongst all the other easy demons, do note this is not my favorite castle-themed level overall. There is another that is above it, but I'll save it for the next ranking video. Oh my god, finally, something that makes sense for once in my goddamn life. Jeez. If I'm being honest with you, this was quite the surprise for me to consider Metropolis to be one of my favorite easy demons in the game. Back then, I had like no background knowledge of the level, and then I played it once, and liked almost everything about the level. I say almost everything because the gameplay at the first drop definitely needed some more balancing. Not to say that it's hard, I mean, okay, well, it is hard, but it's not around the same range as I want it to be from the rest of the parts, in which the balancing of those parts are quite fair. Aside for that nitpick though, the gameplay is indeed quite fun, and I may have complaints about the gameplay at the first drop, but hey, it is quite satisfying when you actually pull it off. The decoration in this level is also extremely satisfying to look at, and it's definitely visually appealing without having everything being thrown at your face. Taking the atmosphere of the glowing neon city that is Metropolis. This is a level I really do enjoy playing, and from a visual standpoint, it's just so well done. Alas, there is only but one level left in this list, and one in which I consider this to be at the top. It's honestly quite the normie take if I'm being honest, and one that definitely makes me feel like a new gen kid even though I've been playing the game since April of 2016. But taking the top spot is Scrap, my everyday's favorite misconceptualized group, Geostorm. I quite like Flap, and Zap, and Crap, Crud actually. But Scrap is my favorite amongst the Geostorm level collabs, and one in which I consider my most favorite amongst all the other easy demons in the game. There's a lot of different stylized parts in this level, from Thornmartin, to Radiation, to Pause, to what in the ever-living fuck is this at that? Quite the distinct styles in this level, but all fall in the space theme. And by this point, if my stance in space theme levels isn't obvious enough, well, here you go. Thematically, this does very well in that department. Every person's decoration feels like you've entered into some other parts of space. Like in Mel's spot where the aliens are seeking to construct something here. What that is, I have no idea. Or in Autonic spot where at one point you're in the water of a planet you are currently in. What planet is this? I don't know. I think nobody knows. It's just a random fictionary planet that just exists. All the parts follow the space theme, but they are distinct enough to complement the creator's style. The gameplay itself is quite the basic one, honestly, but some parts of the gameplay are quite interesting to say the least. Look at this button embeds here. At one point, the ship is auto, and then all of a sudden, you're in a mini wave part that you have to just like do like this kind of click pad. It's like that for until you realize that the structure goes up, and therefore you have to like hold up until the camera stops moving, and that's when you have to like release everything, and then release, and then you also have to tap it the wave at the same time. In an extreme demon, you wouldn't see something like this, but here it works pretty well, and that's my overall thoughts on this crap. Thematically cool and very distinct in styles, and gameplay-wise, while basic, has their interesting moments. One of which I consider to be my top favorite easy demon in the game so far. Well, that is all I have for you. And honestly, it was hard for me to choose between which one I preferred the most in the top 3. I know at some point, this list may change, so if I end up having a new favorite easy demon in the game, whether it be on this list or a brand new level or a level I had to look back on again, I'd put it here. Although, maybe instead of a video, I'll just make a post on Blue Sky on what that easy demon is, I don't know. So yeah, thank you for watching this video, and listen, don't go after my throat because you disagree with some of these. I know that I made a joke about me getting my ass kicked on Twitter, but at the end of the day, opinions being opinions, this is all mine. And hey, you don't need to agree with me either. You can just share your own top 10 favorite easy demons in the game. And let's just have discussions about it. It's fun to have discussions about things on literally every social media platform, if it's not toxic and all that stuff. So yeah, thank you for watching. I will do the medium demons ones at some point. See you next time.